Okay, I hope that's okay for everyone, because this is the best we've got for you guys.
Alright. Blip, blip, blip,
So how
blip.
are we going to read this? I did not think that through very much, actually.
That's what I was trying to figure out, because I'm like... I'm trying to make sure
Well,
that,
I will be Wes, and you can be Danny. We can start with that. That's our roles. Would you like to be Clockwork or Mr. Lancer?
I'll be Mr. Lancer.
You're gonna be Mr. Lancer.
Yeah. I don't know why that makes me fucking laugh, though.
Oh, I know exactly why. Here, I'll remind you of it.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to show me.
Pocket Lancer.
Yep, I knew you were about to show me Pocket Lancer.
Me adding Pocket Lancer to to my stream.
Chad, do y'all want to see what Pocket Lancer looks like?
Using it to be on the screen during the stream.
Yeah, actually, I'll do that too. Hang on.
Because nobody judges literacy like Pocket Lancer. Oh, that's too big. Too big. Too big of a Pocket Lancer.
Hang on. He's over us right now.
Oh yeah. Wait,
On my stream.
can I still see the Okay, I need to make him a little smaller. Actually, I'll use him to fill in this comments section that's not here. He can be the commentary. Pocket Lancer. This judgmental little fucking Pocket Lancer.
You little fucking shit. Why you gotta judge the fanfics like this? It's not we're not in English class.
Oh, I did something wrong here. Alright, there we go.
Hey yo, what did I just do? Oh. There we go. Full Pocket Lancer.
Pocket Lancer. Okay.
All right.
I skipped ahead in the fanfic a little bit. Alright.
Fucking god.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so just to clarify, this fanfic is made for teens and up. It is a general fic, so there will be no shipping. It is Danny Phantom. And it contains the characters Danny Fenton, Clockwork, Wes, and Mr. Lancer.
Weston.
The fic is called Curse of Apollo, and it is by Kate Said. I love that name, by the way.
Yes. I like that name as well.
The summary is Danny rants to Clockwork about Wes's increasingly dramatic attempts to reveal his identity, upon which Clockwork informs Danny that there's actually a reason why Wes isn't believed. Danny decides to confront Wes, and the two come to an agreement. Unfortunately, they skip class to do so, landing Danny in detention, where he discovers that Wes isn't the only one who figured out his identity.
Can I read the notes?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a note from Kate. The other day I thought, what if Wes was legit cursed to have no one believe him like Cassandra, and then decided to write something quick about it. Somehow it spiraled into more than intended, but 'tis the nature of writing fiction. I didn't mean to also include yet another Lancer identity reveal in this, but it just happened. Danny blinked momentarily, stunned by finding Clockwork standing there, holding a green cookie towards him the moment he entered the Time Ghost God's clock tower lair. Uh, sure, he asked, accepting the cookie.
So, what brings you here? Clockwork asked as he led Danny into the structure.
As if you don't know, Danny muttered, nibbling on the cookie. It tasted like a cross between mint, lime, and something reminiscent of grass, but not in a bad way. Is there ectoplasm in this? He wondered, suspecting that's that's where the mint lime flavor came from.
Of course, a growing ghost needs plenty, and you don't get nearly enough.
I don't need ectoplasm, Danny muttered, ignoring how his core almost purred as he continued eating the cookie.
Mm-hmm. Keep telling yourself that, Clockwork said as they entered Clockwork's main room, which contained clock gears along the walls and numerous time windows floating in the air. So, you need a place to de stress.
Danny scoffed. Understatement of the century. He muttered as Clockwork led Danny in to sit on the couch that appeared out of seemingly nowhere and handed him a glass of green tinged milk to go with the cookies, of which there was a tray of on the coffee table in front of the couch, which also simply appeared out of thin air. But Danny opted not to question it.
So tell me what's on your mind, Clockwork asked gently, sitting next to Danny.
It was probably sacrilegious or something for Danny to be using what was essentially the personification of time itself as a therapist. But Clockwork was the one who asked first, and this by far wasn't the first time Danny had done so. It's about West and his antics again. It's getting ridiculous. This time, he made a huge banner he hung above the school entrance. It was a miracle no one believed him.
And this is upsetting to you.
Well, yeah. It's only a matter of time before people decide they're going to believe him. Maybe not everyone at once, but if one person does and starts investigating too, or it gets to the GIW or my parents,
Clockwork actually chuckled at that. Danny, I would not fret about such. He handed Danny another cookie.
Danny stared at Clockwork incredulously as he dipped the cookie in milk. Why? He asked, taking a bite. He didn't know why, but ecto milk from ghost cows tasted so much better than the living cow milk. I mean, I mean, he's clearly putting my identity at risk.
Actually, he's doing the opposite, Clockwork said casually.
Danny scrunched his brow in confusion. What? That makes no sense.
Danny, are you familiar with the Greek myth of Cassandra of Troy?
No? Danny said, a little puzzled at the apparent non sequitur.
Then I shall tell it, Clockwork said. And then a time window floated towards them, or more accurately, show it.
Mm. Thus, Clockwork told Danny the story of Cassandra, illustrating it with scenes from the woman's life, as she had apparently been a real person with a real curse. The gist of it was that Cassandra was a priestess who had been given the power of prophecy by the Greek god Apollo who was actually a ghost, as he desired her affections. However, when she ultimately spurned his love, he fated her to never be believed despite all her prophecies, often ones of doom, being true. What's this have to do with anything? Danny wondered when Clockwork was finished. Are you saying Wes has a similar curse or something?
Do you recall how Pharaoh Dulamond
Duamon.
is the ancestor of your friend Tucker? Clockwork asked instead. And how Tucker obtained the Pharaoh's power because of it?
Yeah, but what? Oh, Danny realized. Wes is the ancestor of this Cassandra chick, isn't he? And has the same curse.
Descendant, the word is. But that is correct. Apollo's curse was more sinister than most myths claim. It's generational, not individual. It has been passed down through the generations, one direct descendant always having it. Passed to the current youngest whenever the one with it dies. Young Wesley Weston received the curse when he was only 3, when his great grandmother passed. However, it thankfully only works on humans and not ghosts.
So he has the power of prophecy too. Should I watch out if he says anything about apocalypses? Danny wondered. If only Ghost could believe Wes, it would be up to him to monitor for that.
No, it is only the curse portion that was passed down, Clockwork explained. However, instead of solely prophecy, the curse seems to have also applied itself to essentially anything that the speaker says that the listener doesn't want to know. Particularly in regards to conspiracy theories, mysteries, and other such things involving investigations. When the truth is uncovered by the one with the curse, nobody will believe them if the person tries to tell someone. His great 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 grandfather was highly skilled detective, and many criminals went free because of the curse. Oh, that sucks.
God damn. Sounds like it could be dangerous, Danny said with a frown, swallowing another bite of a cookie. Like, if Wes uncovers something about a bad guy and no one believes him.
Ah, but remember, it's only applicable to humans. Perhaps it would do you well to pay him more attention and take him more seriously.
So, befriend him? Danny asked skeptically.
If that is what you would feel would be best. What do you guys think of the story so far, chat?
Yeah, what do you think of the story so far? I am enjoying the story so far, actually.
I think it would be terrible to to know things and then just whatever the truth is, just no one fucking believes you.
Yeah.
My only question is how much time could people go? How many times could people go? I'm not gonna believe you. I'm not gonna believe you, and shit happens, and then nobody puts two and two together on their own.
Yeah. It's also it's also shitty the fact of like sometimes in those tropes and sometimes when someone knows something and no one believes them out of nowhere and then it happens they're just like we should have we then they pop out of nowhere and they pop out of nowhere and say this is all your fault, you said this happened before, why didn't you tell us?
Yeah, that really does suck.
They'll pull out the fucking thing. It's just like, why didn't you tell us? It's like, I literally been warning you. It's just like, then this is your fault.
Yeah, that really, really does suck. Ready to continue?
Yes. very much ready to continue.
This is where it gets really fun. Okay, we'll stop it there. All right.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. At school the next day, during homeroom, Wes somehow commandeered the loudspeaker and blasted his theories across the whole school. Honestly, this was getting ridiculous. This ends now, Danny loudly declared, accidentally putting some ghostly undertones into it. As he stood up and walked out the classroom, despite Lancer's attempts to stop him, he had to talk to Wes now before things began to escalate. If there was a ghost attack and Wes tried to tell people, they may not they might not evacuate and get hurt, which Danny couldn't allow.
Danny found Wes walking down the hallway, headed back to his homeroom, muttering about how people would have to believe that. He froze when he saw Danny stomping towards him with glowing eyes.
Okay, Cassandra, we need to talk, Danny growled, grabbing the boy's forearm and pulling downward, phasing them into the old fallout shelter under the boiler room below. Wes crying out in a mix of surprise and fear.
Danny, full of anger, pushed the larger redhead against the wall, pinning him by the chest with one hand. Danny growled at the boy. If joking around or ignoring him didn't work, maybe a threat would. He had no intention to hurt the boy, but Wes clutched at Danny's wrist, attempting to pull him off, and legit whimpered, tears forming in his eyes.
Danny suddenly realized that he not only was emitting some sort of ghostly fear aura, but also maybe was applying more force than he should, and abruptly drew back, leaving Wes to shaking shakily slide down to the floor, too scared to do much. Danny sighed, feeling guilty. He had not meant to do that. He almost never let that much of his ghostly geist
Guys,
ghostly guys show through his human one. He hadn't been that he hadn't even been that angry. Hang on, let's see. Danny forced the fear aura to dissipate, then crouched down to put a hand on the wide-eyed boy's shoulder. Hey, Danny said softly. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you that so badly. He tried to emit a comforting aura. The ability to project feelings was a fairly new one. He hadn't practiced much. But Wes seemed calm at least down a little bit. So Danny assumed he got it right.
What the fuck, Fenton? Wes stammered out when he could finally speak again. The fuck?
Sorry, Danny said again with a small wince. Didn't mean to scare you like that. Honest.
You phased us both through the floor into this creepy fallout shelter that I didn't even know the school had. That's nearly pitch black except for some red emergency lights. That alone is terrifying. Not to mention slamming me against the wall and the freaking growling thing. And that. What was that? Even some fear aura?
Danny flopped down against the wall next to Wes and shrugged. I mean, I am a ghost. What did you expect to happen once you angered me enough?
You admit it? Wes asked, wide eyed. Seriously? You're seriously admitting it? You're actually confirming that I'm right?
Danny shrugged. Well, sure. We're alone, and it's not like any human will believe you. He gave Wes a fang grin, and the boy shivered slightly.
Tears formed in Wes's eyes again, and Danny was concerned that he had scared him again until Wes began to rant. "Why don't they ever believe me?" he said, sounding desperate. "No matter what I say, no one ever believes me. Not unless it's something they already knew. Growing up, I thought, okay, no one really listens to kids anyway. But when I got older and noticed that it was more than that. No matter what I tell people, they never believe me. When I was 10, I witnessed my neighbor stab his wife in the park." Wow, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, that got real. I tried to tell people, but no one listened. When he reported her missing, I tried to tell people again, but they said I was making things up. A month later, a police dog uncovered her body in the woods. During the investigation, they checked the park's security cameras, and it showed that I had witnessed it. Then I got scolded for simply running away and not telling anyone, but I did tell people. If they believed me to begin with, maybe she would have even survived. A police officer was not far away, but he just laughed at me. After that is when I started getting into investigating things, thinking that if I uncovered something big enough, then there was no way people wouldn't believe me. They'd finally see that I wasn't lying and everything I told them was true. But that I didn't just leave the neighbor to rot. But no matter what I do, people still don't believe me. I could go on national news with a video of you changing forms, and everyone watching would still simply laugh. I bet you don't even believe me about my neighbor.
Actually, I do believe you, Danny said gently, putting a hand on Wes's shoulder. I believe it all, actually. He was also somewhat shaken up by the story. Yeah, that was quite the fucking lore drop right there.
Yeah, that was intense.
Wes witnessed a murder at the age of 10, so bad things already had happened because of the curse.
"You're just saying that to be nice," Wes said with a frown. "You don't actually believe me."
But I do, Danny said. Ghosts and part ghosts are immune to the curse. It's only full humans that it affects.
Wes gave Danny a skeptical look. "Curse? What curse?"
Cassandra's curse, Danny explained. You're descended from her, and it traveled through the line. You see, Cassandra of Troy was.
Danny cut him off. Wes cut Danny off. "Yes, I know who she was. We covered it in world history class last year during the Greek mythology section."
Oh, Danny said. I forgot. Anyway, so yeah, I learned yesterday afternoon that you've got the curse. It's one that's passed down from the family to the family line.
Wes frowned. "That would explain things, but how do I know you're not just joshing me?"
Danny shrugged. Guess you don't, but it was the ghost god of time that told me. I can take you to him. He's not that far through the portal.
"I'm not going into the ghost zone," Wes said flatly. Then sighed. "Fine, I believe you. It just makes too much sense. Is there anything that can be done?"
Danny shook his head. Short of seeking out Apollo, which from the rumors about him is a really horrible idea and probably would result in a worse curse, there's no way to remove the curse that I know of. I can have Sam try to research it. She's really great at finding occult stuff like that. In the meantime, though, if you uncover anything really urgent, could you come to me first? I don't want people to get hurt because they don't believe you when you say there's a ghost tag or something.
Wes's eyes widened. I didn't even think about that. God, I'm glad there hasn't been any negative repercussions yet. Well, except for, you know. Oh, wait, there actually might be something. I think I need to apologize to you.
For what? Danny asked.
Well, Wes began to sound sheepish as he looked at the floor. So you know that time when you were possessed by a freak show? I might have figured it out and tried to tell people.
Danny groaned and slid a hand down his face. So that's why even my supporters still believe I was temporarily a willing jewel thief. For other things, like the mayor incident with Walker, people had made other theories, including ones that were essentially exactly what happened. The weird exception had been Freak Show. Wes telling people Danny was innocent was probably what made them firmly believe he wasn't.
Oh my god, this kid's been trying to expose him but also claiming he's innocent and just making the
Yeah,
situation worse.
he was just making the situation worse while
Oh
also trying to explain shit. But since the curse happened, it's just like, that's poppycock.
no. Yeah. What kind of
God
weirdo would
damn.
come up with the theory that a ghost wasn't a willing jewel thief?
Damn.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Excuse me.
Hey, if you tell them what happened, or even Sam or Tucker do, then they might believe it. Like, try and make a public announcement or something.
Right. That was the way to break information out of the curse. People had to learn the info independently as of Wes. I'm still public enemy number one. A public announcement is a good idea. But I'll see if Sam or Tucker could try spreading the info.
Oh, you can do a website that explains your exploits, Wes suggested excitedly. Tucker's good at that kind of stuff, right?
He is, Danny confirmed. Well, if you can somehow make it untraceable, we can do that. He decided, confident that if any site like that popped up, then the GIW would instantly be trying to find out who hosted, paid for the site, and confident that Tucker could find a way around it.
Goddamn guys in white.
It's a version of Men in Black.
Yeah. You got the next
Love it.
line.
Do I? Suddenly, Danny's phone buzzed. He took it out of his pocket and flipped it open. Speaking of Tucker, there was a text from the boy, to which Danny verbally responded, "Oh no."
What? Wes asked anxiously. Crap, they didn't, like, actually believe me this time, right? Because, I actually started to reconsider revealing things, you know. Now knowing it's a curse and that it could do harm, and was wondering if we could maybe work together? Like, if I discover some bad things, I can tell you since you can believe me if you.
Wes, shut up, Danny said. Thank you for reconsidering, and yes, we can work together. That's not the issue.
Then what is it?
Danny took a deep breath. Apparently, when we weren't in our next class after I stormed out of homeroom, people were joking that I was legit going to murder you. And a security guard overheard. And when he couldn't find us in the school, he called APD.
Oh. I forgot that we have an actual security guard, Wes said. Understandable, since he didn't do much. Since he was meant for human issues and not ghost issues. So mostly he just sat in his office all day watching TV. Wait,
That's a fucking mood.
wait, he searched the school? Then how didn't he find us? We're still in the school, right? Because I don't really remember this being underneath, and why wouldn't we be using this for ghost attacks?
Oh, this was sealed off decades ago. Danny informed Wes. He done his research after finding it. The entrance is behind the welded shut door in the boiler room that says, "Danger, do not enter." That was how Danny found it. He was curious and phased through.
The fuck, Fenton? Is this even safe to be down here?
Danny shrugged. Beats me.
You're not worried about that.
I mean, I literally died investigating something I shouldn't have. So, I'm not the best to consult about safety.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, can you get us out of here then? Because I really don't want to die in an abandoned fallout shelter.
Yeah, probably a good idea, Danny decided. Just don't tell anyone about this place. You have a good point about using it for ghost attacks. So, I'll tell Lancer about it.
And if he asked how you would know about it?
Danny paused. I'll tell him Phantom told me. He stood up, then offered Wes his hand to help the boy up. Now, we good?
We're good, Wes confirmed, then looked around. Actually, he grinned, why don't we explore this a bit first?
Weren't you just saying this could be dangerous?
Well, if the air's toxic, then I've already breathed it in. And you can protect me from any ghosts and stuff, right?
He conceded, then formed an ecto ball to provide light in the circle around them. He grinned. All right then, let's explore.
Yay, they're friends now!
I love that.
Oh, this is great.
Rivals to friends. Love it.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, good night, Phoenix.
Fen? Oh, Fen's going to sleep.
Yeah,
Hang on,
done
I
for the
don't see
day.
that in my chat. Hang on. Okay, there we go. All right. Ready to continue with this?
Yep. Who
They're still
starts?
fucking judging
Okay.
us.
Alright, I'll read the first part since you gotta read the next parts. It was the start of lunch by the time the two decided they should return, so people would stop worrying about them. Danny had gotten a few more texts from Sam, Tucker, and his sister. Wes went back to the cafeteria so everyone could see that he was okay, and obviously not dead. And Danny went to Lancer's classroom so he could assure him that things were fine and served attention like he was sure that he had.
Ah, Mr. Fenton. Lancer greeted him, not looking up from the paper on his desk he was reading. Nice of you to return. I assume you are here to serve lunch detention for cutting class and kidnapping a fellow student. What? Kidnapping? I didn't. Wait, no, technically, I guess I did. Danny amended, contemplating that. He had Wes trapped in a palace he couldn't get out of. But he's fine, I promise. Yes, I'm aware that you never intentionally bring harm to anyone without necessity, Lancer said. Now sit down, and while you eat, you can do the homework due later. Today that I am certain you haven't yet begun. Backpack is right where you left it.
Danny sat down at his desk and took out his homework, as well as a packed lunch that he had not packed. From Clockwork, Danny concluded, as the paper bag was decorated with the clock pattern. It
Well, that's
probably had
cute.
things. It is cute. It probably had things made from ectoplasm again. Danny had no clue why Clockwork kept insisting he needed it. Danny wasn't that much of a ghost.
Oh, by the way, Mr. L, Danny said as he unwrapped the sandwich with toxic green bread. Did you know there's an old fallout shelter under the school? It's behind that welded shut door in the boiler room. Could be a place for the school to hide from ghost attacks. I did not know that, Lancer said. How would you how would you know how would you have known that, particularly if the door is welded shut? Danny shrugged as he took a bite of the sandwich, made from slices of strange colored meat and veggies Danny didn't recognize. Phantom told me. And did he now? Or did you go exploring it yourself? Danny briefly froze, then replied with a small scoff. I just said the door was welded shut. How could I possibly have explored it? Phased through, I would assume. Lancer said casually, still grading papers. Phased through? What are you talking about? Danny asked, trying to hide his nerves. Does Lancer know? Lancer ignored the question and continued. That's where you took Wes earlier, correct? Seeing as neither of you were found in or around the school? What? No, of course not. Lancer Lancer looked towards Danny and raised an eyebrow. Daniel, you're a horrible liar. What? I'm not. Seeing the look in Lancer's eyes, Danny realized he had no choice but to relent. His shoulders sagged in recon- resignation. Resignation. You know, don't you, that you're the Phantom? Yes. Lancer confirmed, and Danny's heart skipped a beat. How? When? Danny wondered, still struggling to believe that Lancer, of all people, somehow found out. Oh, for a while now, Lancer revealed, turning back to his papers in a bored manner. It wasn't difficult to put the pieces together.
Do you want to switch? Do you want to tap out for one of these characters? Because, like, the whole rest of the fic is apparently just you reading.
Um,
I thought that Wes was in here somewhere, but apparently I'd be wrong.
you can you can be you can be Danny temporarily
Oh, you want me to be Danny? Okay.
if you want to.
You having fun doing Lancer?
I tried my best to pull the voice.
Why didn't you say anything sooner? Danny couldn't help but ponder.
Lancer sighed. In short, denial. I'd drawn the conclusion, but for a long time I simply did not want to believe it. Accepting it meant that I had somehow missed the signs and that my student had become a ghost. That my student either was a ghost to begin with, and that my student had. He trailed off, looking into the distance, clearly not wanting to voice the word.
Danny nodded in understanding. If it helps, technically I'm not all the way dead. It's more of a ghost human hybrid situation. At Lancer's confused and curious look, Danny explained. In short, when your parents tell you not to mess with the giant portal they built to a parallel dimension, even though it doesn't seem to work, don't sneak into the lab when they're not around and mess with it anyway. I was inside when it turned on and was blasted by a shit ton of electricity and ectoplasm. From what I can tell, the electricity killed me, and the ectoplasm somehow fused itself to me, which revived me, but partially. making me some sort of hybrid, somehow dead and alive all at once, with a more human form and a more ghost form. Schrodinger's teenager.
Teenager. Oh my fucking god. That pretty much just sums up the whole entire fucking premise behind Danny Phantom. Schrodinger's teenager.
Schrodinger's teenager. Fucking
Yep,
wild.
pretty much. Herbert West, Reanimator.
No, you gotta yell it. No,
No,
apparently you don't gotta yell it. It's a
no,
whisper. But
it's a
usually
whisper.
he yells it.
Herbert West, Reanimator. Lancer whispered, eyes wide. Apparently, already knowing Danny was Phantom did not reduce the shock of his death story. I suppose it was a small comfort knowing you aren't completely dead, but still. He then seemed to realize something. Your parents obviously don't know, given I saw some shooting at you just yesterday. Are you safe at home?
As safe as I can be, Danny said with a small chuckle, then decided to change the subject before Lancer could press further. Anyways, back to Wes. He's going to back down on attempting to reveal my secret. Turns out he's literally a modern day Cassandra.
Lancer blinked a few times, then grinned. You remembered the lesson about her from the Greek mythology unit. He smiled happily.
Danny
He's.
winced. Hmm?
Mm, I just realized I read that last line incorrectly. Go ahead.
Oh, Danny winced. Sorry to burst your bubble, but no. A ghost told me last night. Apparently, family curses are a thing, and he's literally descended from her because she's apparently was real. Yeah.
Oh, Lancer said, looking mildly disappointed.
Yeah, Danny continued, ignoring the disappointment. The curse, which is basically for all information the listener doesn't want to know and not just prophecy, doesn't affect ghosts. So now we've got an agreement that he'll run anything he discovers about anything by me.
By agreement?
No, I didn't threaten him, Danny asserted, maybe a little too quickly. Anyways, so if possible, can you not interrupt if he's trying to tell me something in class? I don't want him telling a human there's a ghost attack or something and then they just don't believe him.
Ah, yes. I suppose that would be far from a good scenario. Lancer said with slight worry. He glanced at his clock. Well, if that is all, you ought to be returned to eating your lunch and doing your work. This is detention after all, as I'm sure your discussion with Wes could have waited until after school and did not take 3 hours. You were exploring the fallout shelter, weren't you?
Wes wanted to, Danny defended.
And if Wes jumped off a bridge, would you follow?
Well, yes, because I can fly and I would feel obligated to rescue him. If all your friends were Cliff, would you jump off them?
What? Lancer gave an exasperated sigh. Just eat your lunch, Daniel.
Danny nodded. Sure thing, he said, glancing at the clock as he took a bite of his green sandwich. It was definitely much earlier than it had any right to be. He had a feeling that this detention would not be over until he did finish eating everything, including the baggie of blue and pink vegetable chips and what looked like a neon yellow apple. And there was some more cookies in there too. Yay, we're
I
done.
love this shit. I love this fucking shit.